Today on the Hillbilly Files, we're in Paintsville, Kentucky. We're actually close to where country singers Loretta Lynn and Crystal Gale were born and raised. Not that far. But what brings us here today is a pretty interesting story that a lot of people don't know about.
Very bizarre court case.
So this is actually where the youngest person in America was brought to court for murder.
We're here.
He was only 6 years old.
This is it. Because it's 200 right there. And it's 13. Would have been right in here.
So this 6-year-old's name was Carl. And he was born here in Paintsville, Kentucky. His dad was a taxi cab driver. He didn't have a very good upbringing, but they did live on this street. His house is now gone. It was somewhere here, but has since been torn down. And the victim also lived on this street. It's also where the murder occurred. So Carl had a friend that was a couple years older than him named Cecil Van Hoos, and this was a little coal mining town back in the day. It was 1929, a couple months before the Great Depression started, and they were out looking for scraps of metal to make a little bit of pocket change. Well, apparently they got into an argument. And Cecil hit Carl in the face with a scrap of metal. Well, this pissed Carl off, and he ran to his house, got a chair. God, this is a noisy town. Got a chair, got into the gun cabinet and took down his father's 12 gauge. Where he proceeded to run outside and yelled, "I'm gonna kill you," and squeeze the trigger. So what happened next after Carl shot and killed Cecil was that Carl became the youngest murder defendant in Kentucky and the country. So what happened after that opened up a lot of different questions. Was Carl a murderer? Did he know what he was doing? Can he be held accountable for his actions? If so, how does society punish a first grader? In 1929, Paintsville, the answers seemed to come pretty fast. Less than a week after Carl shot his friend, the skinny 6-year-old with a cowlick was on trial for murder. The boy told the court how he came to kill his friend. Then through the rest of the day-long trial, he lay on the defense counsel's table and slept often. He seemed unaware of the severity of what had happened. After fewer than 30 minutes of deliberation, a jury convicted Carl of a lesser charge of manslaughter. The Johnson County judge sentenced him to 15 years in reform school. The boy was released to his parents on $500 bond. A public outcry and legal appeals followed. Some thought manslaughter wasn't enough, others thought it was too much. But finally, a circuit court judge set aside the conviction and issued a right of prohibition that prevented Carl from being sent to reform school. It said that the county judge had exceeded his authority. It's common law in the United States that children under 7 are not held accountable for crimes. Between the ages of 6 and 8, experts say there's critical changes in the way children think. As children get older, they begin to understand the concept of rules. They develop a sense of fair play. They understand consequences of their actions. So long story short, Carl was released to his parents, who really didn't seem to care about what had happened, honestly. And they were both alcoholics and had their own problems. But what's even stranger is that people in Paintsville kind of treated Carl like he was a celebrity. You know, they would ask him for pictures, write his family letters of condolences and support. Carl eventually moved away with his family and passed away fairly early in Louisville, Kentucky. But Cecil Van Hoos was buried here by his family and is laid to rest close by here. So I think he's been kind of forgotten in all this. An 8-year-old that never got to see what his life would become. So we're gonna head over there now. So I don't think we were prepared for how cold it is today. I'm definitely not dressed for it.
The wind. Gate's up here. It's walled all the way around. We're gonna have to go up here and go up.
Where? Oh.
Gate. A beautiful old cemetery. Old wall around it. It's real pretty. Downtown. Neighbors have a dog or two. We're right. The grave we're looking for should be right out here. It's a very unique story. I remember once when I was real little, about 6 or 7, my cousin Gene threw a metal toy shovel, kid's sandbox shovel, and hit me in the head. I can remember blood gushing down my head, but I don't remember wanting to get a shotgun and shoot him. Okay. There's Douglas Van Hoos.
So that's fresh.
Yeah, that's a newer one. Douglas Van Hoos. Okay, it took us a few minutes and we started off on the wrong side, but we eventually found them. This right here is Vera Van Hoos, November 1st, 1899 to, what is it, July?
That's his mom.
Yeah, July 18th, 1986.
His
That
mom.
was, right, Cecil's mother and Cecil's father, Albert J. Van Hoos. March 9th, 1894 to November 7th, 1961.
His mom.
Yeah, a couple more. But right here is the one we really came to see. This is Cecil Van Hoos right here. March 17th, 1921 to May 18th, 1929. Now this right here was one of those strange cases where, you know, things changed, really, literally. I mean, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it was the youngest person to ever be tried for murder, wasn't it, Heather?
So far.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And thank you for watching.
Appreciate you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed the little trip. Like I said, we appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Till next time.